with me, Shiv Arur. As always, first, the headlines. Modi government appeals to protesting farmers to resume dialogue. 18,000 crore rupees from Prime Minister Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana to be transferred to 9 crore farmers on the 25th of December. Agitating farmers to take a call on the new round of talks as protests enter day 28. Mamata Banerjee dials farmer leaders. Rahul Gandhi to lead a protest march tomorrow. New details on Rajnikant's political plan revealed. Documents accessed by India Today reveal link between Makkal Sevai Kachi, the party allotted the auto symbol by the Election Commission, and Rajni's own Makkal Mandaram. BJP claims victory after emerging single largest party in Jammu and Kashmir's District Development Council polls, says victory for development and democracy. Infrastructure for vaccine shortage gathers pace in India. Massive cold storage facility at Delhi airport with capacity to store almost 1.8 million metric tons of COVID shots. India has stepped up its surveillance and is taking no chances in view of the emergence of this new mutated COVID strain that has emerged from the United Kingdom. While the government has assured citizens that there's no need to panic, it has released standard operating procedures for passengers. According to the new guidelines, listen very carefully because this may apply to you, passengers coming from the UK have to undergo RT-PCR tests. It's also been stated that those found positive should be isolated in a separate quarantine unit. As you know, of course, there are no flights operating anymore between India and the United Kingdom till the 31st of December.
As of now, based on our discussions, deep understanding of the data available, our discussions with scientists in UK, colleagues in WHO, and our own deep assessment, there is no cause for concern as panic.
नहीं, दिल्ली सरकार बिल्कुल सतर्क है और जितने भी फ्लाइट्स पिछले 2 हफ्ते में आई है सबको घर घर जाके उनको चेक किया जा रहा है और 100% हमने पूरा उसके लिए मेजर्स उनको तो हम खुद भेज रहे हैं, हमारे लोग जा रहे हैं, सबको जाएंगे जिसमें भी सिम्टम है हल्का से कुछ भी उसको टेस्ट भी किया जाएगा, पूरा उसके ऊपर वो किया जाएगा.
See, we have heard that the UK passengers that came yesterday or something, there are some 20 odd have been found positive among them. So that means currently this strain is something like 60% of this variant in the positives in the UK. So by that calculation, if you see, it's very likely that out of these 20, half of them may be the new variant. But it can happen that they're coming from a town where new variant is not there, so that will be a chance. But there's a good chance that some of them will be having new variant. Now, since these people are contained, they will be quarantined separately and so on. But last week or a few weeks back, people have come and gone, and there's no point even testing them who has come 1 month ago, because that person must become now asymptomatic and spread whatever it has to he or she had to others.
I want to quickly run you through the standard operating procedures that have been released by the government for passengers from the United Kingdom. An RT-PCR test is a must for all. Remember, this is applicable for those arriving from the United Kingdom, even though flights have been suspended for the moment. But this will apply even after that. The spike gene-based RT-PCR is a must for those found to be positive because they might carry the mutant strain. Separate isolation unit for those who are corona positive once they arrive in India. Home quarantine for COVID negative air passengers arriving from the United Kingdom. Institutional quarantine for contacts of all positive persons. So these are very, very strict rules that are being put in place. Milan Sharma, who's been at the front line of reporting on the pandemic for us and has also brought us many of the breaking stories on India's preparations for this mutant strain, is with us. Milan, war footing, you know, this is no chances can be taken. Many lessons have been learned, in the battle against the original coronavirus before this mutant came in. How is it looking on
virus coming from China, and the first case was identified on the 30th of January 2020 by the Indian government. Quick steps were taken. Even this time, the Indian government has acted fast by banning flights to the UK. But the experts believe that this virus has been circulating in the United Kingdom since September. And if anyone has traveled from the UK to India, would possibly have spread it to some clusters. But largely now the genome sequencing will be done by the Indian government. Certainly all these people have been placed in separate isolation, the 20 who have tested positive from the United Kingdom. And their samples will be tested to find out if it is the same mutant strain. The government maintains that there's no need to panic because it's normal for an influenza virus to mutate, and it does so several times. And the vaccines will also not have an impact because the vaccines have been made in such a way that they directly impact the spike protein of the coronavirus.
Okay, Milan, thanks very much for that. No reason to panic, says the government, but very strict standard operating procedures have been put in place. Some lessons appear to have been learned after the first experience from earlier this year. Suspension of flights is one of those first. Let's take a look at these ground reports now on India's preparations for this mutant strain. Take a look.
With this new strain of more virulent coronavirus found from the UK, India has suspended flights coming in from the UK for this foreseeable period. However, before this suspension went into effect late last night, 4 flights worth of passengers were checked at the Delhi airport, out of which about 5 were found corona positive. The Delhi government has also announced mandatory checks for all the passengers who've come in from the UK in the last 2 weeks. The government is now going to trace and test more than 6,000 people who may have come into India from the UK in the last 2 weeks as fears regarding the new strain heighten. In New Delhi with cameraman Sachin, this is Anisha Mathur for India Today.
Yesterday, over 590 passengers arrived from UK. 300 of them were put into institutional quarantine. Now that the flights from UK are banned, but flights from Middle East and also other European countries, passengers who are coming from these places have to go through mandatory institutional quarantine. For that, the BMC have booked over 250 hotels in and around airport. Now, with a view of coming Christmas, special guidelines are issued by Maharashtra government. Not more than 50 people can assemble at a time in the church, and not more than 10 people should be present for choir singing. Also, people of the age above 60 and children below the age of 10 should be staying at home. Live telecast should be given preference. Now, also for the 31st, the BMC and the state government has appealed to people that they should party at home and stay indoors. With camera person Swapnil, this is Saurabh Bhaktania in Mumbai for India Today.
One passenger who landed at Chennai via Delhi from London has tested positive for COVID-19 on 22nd of December. However, the State Health Department has mentioned that the passenger's sample has been sent to NIV Pune to confirm whether if it's of the mutated strain or not. And they have requested the public not to panic on the matter. And the state has once again mentioned that all measures required are already under place. And only the 3 important things the public have to follow is wear a mask, wash your hands constantly, and maintain social distancing at all, like in a public area. So this way, the state government has said that already all measures are under place, and the public no need to worry or panic about it. However, maintain social distancing norms. With camera person Divyan, Pramod Madhav for India Today.
2 passengers who have come from the UK recently to Kolkata in an Air India flight have tested COVID positive, and therefore all flights from the UK till December 31st has been suspended at the Kolkata airport. These 2 passengers have been quarantined, and the process of contact tracing of other co-passengers who may have come in contact with these 2 have already begun. However, the big worry, of course, is the festive season, the Christmas season here in Kolkata, with the Kolkata Christmas Festival being inaugurated by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee a few days back, and with massive crowds already starting to gather on Park Street, in New Market and adjoining areas in central Kolkata. The worry, of course, is that whether or not there will be a sudden surge, a spike in COVID cases once the new year begins. And therefore, it is utmost incumbent on each and everybody to maintain precaution and follow the standard operating procedures of at least wearing the mask in public. With camera person Probir Biswas, Indrajit for India Today in Kolkata.
It is the festive Christmas and New Year season, and after Maharashtra, Karnataka